Welcome back for another video. I am the Maize Madman. Before we get started, hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you're aware every time I upload a video. In today's video, we'll be talking about major additions to this weekend's recruiting visit list. Plus, there is a new top dog in the Big Ten as far as coaches go, and who Michigan wide receivers are saying is a standout. And I'm talking about veteran wide receivers, talking about young standouts in spring ball. Plus, I'm upset. C.J. Stroud said losses to Michigan held him back from winning 2 Heisman trophies. It's disrespect. Head high cause I'm holding up my crown. Never told even through the ups and downs. And if I do say it's a cup of brown, only way I double cross is I'm gonna tell them why I'm mad. I'm mad because the former other state quarterback C.J. Stroud, former Michigan quarterback C.J. Stroud, because he played for both of us, you get it. He recently sat down and spoke about his time at the other state, and he said some interesting things. He tends to think that he would have won 2 Heisman trophies had it not been for the losses in 21 and 22 to the Blue of Michigan. I think it's absurd. I think in 21, Bryce Young was clearly the better quarterback. I think in 22, Caleb Williams' second half was clearly better than what C.J. Stroud had done to that point. I will give him this. It certainly didn't help his cause losing to Michigan in both of those seasons, but, whatever. The better team won. He might have been playing for Michigan too. Like I said, he is both of our quarterback. That is our quarterback. To all you the other state fans out there. Moving on though, Michigan has added some major talent to the visitors list this weekend. And we'll start with 4-star wide receiver out of North Carolina, Providence Day, Jordan Shipp. This is obviously huge. Jordan Shipp is a teammate of 5-star target in the 2024 class, Jaden Davis, who will be visiting next weekend, to my understanding. Jordan Shipp, a big target, has a huge catch radius. Some services have him as a 3-star. I think that's absurd. I saw him perform very well against a 5-star defensive back KJ Bolden, who is also a Michigan target. Jordan Shipp is a legit 4-star recruit, and he is a huge target, and Michigan is lucky enough to have him on campus this weekend. He is currently ranked number 385 overall by 24/7 in the 2024 class. He is the 55th ranked wide receiver and 11th ranked player in the state of North Carolina. All of those rankings, in my opinion, are absurd. I think Jordan Shipp is a legit 4-star recruit. Other services have him listed as a 4-star recruit. Even 24/7's composite ranking has him rated as a 4-star recruit. I'll keep you up to date on that and other recruitments as more information becomes available. Before we go forward, I want to take this time, remind you, hit the like and subscribe button and that notification bell. Now, moving on to the other and maybe the most important visitor of this weekend, that is 5-star quarterback who I talked about in the last video, Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is the most important prospect for Michigan in the next 2 classes, including 24. And that includes Jaden Davis. I'll tell you why. Bryce Underwood is right in Michigan's backyard, right? He plays for Bellevue High School. That is less than 40 miles maybe away from Ann Arbor, right? The fact that every school in America wants him, including all the powers in the Midwest, including the other state, including Notre Dame, including Little Brother. All of them are recruiting him heavy. The fact is, some services have Little Brother out in front of Michigan in terms of his recruitment. That cannot happen. It cannot happen. We cannot allow it. I've said that now 2 straight videos, and it has to be a Michigan win. Michigan has lost top recruits in the state of Michigan, right? We don't need to rehash that, but Dante Moore is right at the top of that list. C.J. Carr right at the top of that list. There's no reason to go back down that road. However, this super sophomore, 6'4", 205 pounds, number 1 quarterback recruit in the country for the 2025 class, number 3 overall recruit in the country for the 2025 class, has to go Michigan's way. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I know this is a hot button topic. There are people who believe that if we get Jordan Davis, that lessens our likelihood of getting Bryce Underwood. I'm not going to argue against that. However, schools like Alabama, schools like even the other state are able to pull these sorts of wins off, right? Where they have an elite quarterback in the class before they get another elite quarterback. The issue is for Michigan and even the fans and the thought process of, we got an elite talent, so we have to let another elite talent slip. That is bogus. If we have an elite talent, we need to double up, right? The reason that Georgia and Alabama and even the other state are successful the way that they're successful is because of depth. You can look up and down those rosters. There are 4- and 5-star guys all that are littered throughout those rosters. And I'm not saying that you have to have 4- and 5-star guys everywhere to win. Michigan has proven, the contrary there, right? And by the way, let me speak very clearly and concise here, because there are other people who believe that you can just win with 3 stars. All of Michigan's best players, let me repeat this, all of Michigan's best players are 4- or 5-star recruits. That includes running back Blake Corum. That includes running back Donovan Edwards. That includes quarterback J.J. McCarthy. That includes defensive back Will Johnson. All of those guys were 4- or 5-star recruits. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that Michigan can just continue to win by getting 3-star after 3-star. You have, in order to be an elite program in this country, you have to recruit elite talent. Elite talent has to be on that roster, and it needs to be on that roster at an elite level. And one way to get elite level is having recruited successfully Jaden Davis and then turn around and have recruited successfully Bryce Underwood. You let them hash out who's going to be the starter in camp, right? That's after we have them on the roster. It's their turn now to show why they are who these services think they are. They are who the fans think they are. That's neither here nor there. The fact that they are both interested in Michigan to some degree, whatever degree that is right now, Michigan needs to turn it all the way up. We need to get both of those guys in blue. I digress. Moving on to the next topic. You know what? Before we move on to the next topic, because I went on a bit of a tangent there. Apologies. However, Michigan needs to put their best foot forward. Obviously, with both of these guys landing, Jordan Shipp would go a long way in helping Michigan with Jaden Davis, and putting our best foot forward with Bryce Underwood is very important. This is the first time that our new quarterback coach, Kirk Campbell, gets to see Bryce Underwood face to face. It is imperative that he make a very impressive first impression. Obviously, Jim needs to step in where he needs to step in with both of these guys, with both of these recruits. And these recruits I'm talking about considerably, because they are so important for Michigan at the quarterback position, right? Jordan Shipp, I know he plays wide receiver, but his buddy and his friend and Michigan target Jaden Davis and him are kind of tied at the hip, and I'm not sure that they've made a pact or anything. I don't want to say that wherever one goes, the other goes. However, you'd be a fool to think that Jordan Shipp committing to Michigan wouldn't go a long way for Jaden Davis. That being said, a huge target is also on campus this week, and that is Aaron Childs. We've spoken about that. You knew he was going to be there. So maybe all of these guys, they're being elite talent level guys talking to one another. You know how that works out. But moving on, Mike Sanderstill and Roman Wilson both talked about Michigan's current wide receiver core, the group that they have there now. Roman Wilson was huge on sophomore wide receiver Darius Clemens. We saw Darius last spring catch a bomb last spring, while, by the way, former Michigan wide receiver Ronnie Bell was being interviewed, and that live reaction is still classic. But moving on. So Roman Wilson gave the nod to Darius Clemens in terms of young receivers that are on the come up. Mike Sanderstill listed Samaj Morgan and Fred Moore as the guys that are really looking good. Both of those guys are incoming freshmen. Tyler Morris, another sophomore, along with Darius Clemens, a sophomore. So 2 freshmen, 2 sophomore receivers really showing out in spring camp. It's also very, very good news. Moving right along, Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh was ranked recently as the 4th best college coach in America, and that puts him at number 1 in the Big Ten. Following Coach Harbaugh was Penn State's head coach Franklin, and of course the guy who was born on third base, Ryan Day, followed Franklin at the number 6 spot, as Big Ten coaches were ranked 4th, 5th, and 6th in the list of 10. Moving along, it is that time where I bid you adieu. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below. What do you think about the college head coach rankings? They are listed here. Also, be sure to hit the notification bell. Let me know what you think about the upcoming wide receiver group. And follow me on Twitter at Maize Madman. And as always, I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen,